The biggest fraud in Logan Paul's scam. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
For the last 6 months, I've been working on my own NFT project. Cryptozoo.co. It's a really fun game that makes you money.
I lost around $50,000 in Cryptozoo.
I lost $40,000.
$500,000 Australian.
I'm telling you, it's just a picture. There's nothing I can do with it.
Wait, you can't.
But you knew that before you did. Oh God, it always was.
Even hatch?
No.
We had a issue with Cryptozoo, where our lead developer took the code that he made, fled to Switzerland, actually fled to Switzerland.
Yeah,
and,
this is
held
part
it hostage
two.
for $1 million.
He literally never gave me anything at all, ever. Eddie promised me, 5% tokens and $1 million. He literally never paid me.
Wait a second. Who's Eddie? I thought that all of this was Logan Paul. What's this random guy doing in Logan Paul's project? And who is he? Who is Eddie Ivanez?
Well, let's find out. The man who fooled billionaires.
To begin answering the question of who Eddie is, I decided to take a deep dive.
I started by looking through all the news articles I could on Eddie, where I found out he graduated from MIT and from there became a data scientist and cybersecurity expert and used that technical background to win a Super Bowl for the Eagles.
Wow.
And there were videos on him too, which all painted him as brilliant and extremely accomplished.
Yes, hi, my name's Eddie Ivanez. I'm a father of 3, lead developer here at Cryptozoos.
As a teenager, he successfully hacked AOL from his bedroom.
All right.
He continued to pursue computer science until attending MIT. He was then recruited out to work for a government agency in cybersecurity, developing software that reverse engineers the location of known government and terrorist threats.
Also known as citizens, private citizens. That's right, guys. If you're ever wondering if the government can track you, because of Eddie, they can. There you go.
Started with the federal government, and you started off really tracking criminals with burner phones and all.
Honestly, after this whole search, I felt more confused than ever. If Eddie's such an amazing guy, why didn't he pay developers? And is he really the puppet master behind Cryptozoo?
Well, let's find out.
Is it someone else? Honestly, I felt like at this point I needed a drink, and I needed to ask for help.
Coffee, how's it going?
Not good.
Oh, what happened?
Well, I'm confused about this Eddie Ibanez guy. He comes out of nowhere with this Cryptozoo story, and everything about him I find seems great.
So, what's the problem?
Well,
Seems like a
everything's
good
not
guy.
great. Everything about this guy just seems too perfect. He's an MIT grad, he works for the military. He even claims he won a Super Bowl. Why would that guy work for Logan Paul?
I don't know, but I can find out. You said his name is Eddie Ivanez?
I think he goes by Eduardo technically, but...
Yeah,
Wait,
probably money.
What are you doing?
I'm just looking around. And done.
Well, what'd you find?
A few red flags, a couple of misdemeanors. Ooh, a few court cases.
That's not a big
I'll
deal.
send him over. He got sued by his landlord for not paying rent, sued by his credit
I'm going to be honest. I don't give a fuck about that. I think that makes him better.
card company for not paying his bill.
I think, bro, I love Eddie. I think Eddie's a straight up G. Yeah, bro, like, these are red flags? Like, what do you mean? Like, this guy's great.
Skip that stuff. I just need whatever's relevant to Cryptozoo.
Well, that's basically it. Other than... Hold on. No, wait, I did find something. Look at this.
Okay.
What's this?
It's from a paper in Philly. I barely picked it up. This reporter says Eddie's entire story is fake.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the whole Eddie Ivanez character. This guy Adam Robb investigated it. He says it's a lie.
I gotta find this guy. Send me his info. I got some calls to make.
Coffee.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We met up with Adam Robb, the reporter who's been investigating Eddie Ivanez for a while now. And I wanted to know, what did Adam think of him when they first met?
I wasn't quite sure what to make of him. Based on what I knew about him, he was a MIT grad who went on to work for the CIA and the Defense Department. And I didn't want to waste his time. And it wasn't long after I sat down that I realized he was wasting my time.
Can you tell me about some of the lies Eddie told you?
Eddie has told me so many lies over the course of my 2 interviews with him. And the first lie he told me is probably the oldest lie that he's told so many people, which is that he's an orphan. I first realized Eddie might be lying to me when I went home the next day and Googled Eddie Ivanez's family. I found a video of Eddie and his wife making a rice pudding on a Fox and Friends segment on Fox News. And Eddie's wife, Jackie, explained that she learned the recipe from Eddie's mother.
So in that picture, you've got Jackie Ibanez. You know her, along with her husband, Eddie, and her 2 little girls. You love rice pudding. Why is this a family recipe?
Okay, so I don't necessarily think these are conflicting bits of information, because he could have been adopted later on whenever he was like, let's say 7 or 8. Yeah, it could have been a stepmother or something like that. Like this is not compelling yet.
Eddie's mom made this rice pudding once.
Wait, Eddie's mom? I thought Eddie was an orphan.
Okay.
Well, it turns out the only problem with that is that not only does his mom exist, she's alive and in his life. And it turns out it wasn't just Adam that heard this story either. He told it a lot.
Did you ever meet his mother?
Never mind.
With parents?
Okay.
I did meet his mother.
Did he ever tell you he was an orphan?
Yes.
How did he square that with you?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm so confused. He told me he was an orphan.
How do you square that? Yeah, I'm really confused.
All this stuff, but then I meet his mom.
He told me he was an orphan, and then I met his mother, is quite the string of words.
Wow.
But as insane as these lies are, let's be real, it doesn't explain why Cryptozoo failed.
Sure.
But the next lies kind of do.
Okay.
Because part of Eddie's story is also that he went to MIT, where he was recruited to the CIA.
Right.
And it's part of why he was so attractive as a lead developer.
Yeah.
All the wild experiences that he had had. But it's just not true.
Did he go to MIT?
Emailed the MIT registrar's office, and I asked if Eddie Ivanez attended the school, and they confirmed in absolute terms that he never attended MIT.
That's
Man, what a surprise. Wow, who could have guessed? Another cryptocurrency guru who has a bunch of credibility and a background story that's just as real as their cryptocurrency.
right. The whole orphan to MIT origin story, it wasn't true. And
Wow.
Eddie's whole backstory from here kind of falls apart as well. How could he have been recruited to a government agency out of MIT if he never went to MIT?
True.
If this is all seeming crazy to
Very
you,
good
you might
point.
ask yourself, who would believe all this? And this is where Eddie shines. He kind of had a gift for getting people to believe in the lies he told, especially super rich and powerful people for some reason. Like take, for instance, this story, him winning the Super Bowl for the Philadelphia Eagles. He managed to convince the owner of the New York Yankees that it was true, Barry Klarberg, who completely bought into it without question and told the same story later in a college seminar.
Let's convert right into the work that you did for the Philadelphia Eagles, which led to a Super Bowl championship, led to you getting a Super Bowl ring.
Yep.
Tell us exactly what your job was to do for them and how it worked out.
No, sure thing. So first off, they said like, we don't know where to put you, but and then the sports science.
So yeah, he just had no fucking idea what he was talking about. No, I think there's a lot of times that people that just don't know anything about technology can get finessed by this stuff so easily.
This guy was the one guy. He's like, hey, I got some data. I'm interested. So so we took in his data, and then we found out that these players, what happens is it's like a player as they run around, they get at certain fatigue levels. So if you ever played Street Fighter, the video game, there's like a red bar at the top, and every time you get hit, that red bar goes down until you die, KO, right? So then we're trying to figure out kind of what that is for a player, and on an injury level, right? There's an injury bar that gets knocked down and that gets KO'd.
This is insane. He couldn't.
So basically, and you know, have you ever had this happen where you have somebody who doesn't know anything about technology and you just get them or you see them starting to agree with anything, even if it makes no sense because they don't want to sound stupid? Yeah, like, I mean, you guys have seen this too, right? Like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. It's the same thing happened here.
Convinced an owner
That's
of
what
the
it was.
Yankees that he won a Super Bowl by
my
turning
job,
sports
yeah.
athletes into Street Fighter characters. And of course, none of it's true. The Philadelphia Eagles responded to a fact check saying he never worked for their player analysis team. Not only that, the Eagles also said that Eddie
So this is like all fan fiction.
Try to do an in-person presentation in March of 2018, but that was already a month after the Eagles had already won the Super Bowl. And also they didn't hire him because of course not. Meaning
so basically he did a presentation for them after they won the Super Bowl, and then after that they didn't hire him after the presentation, but it's because so basically because they knew that they were going to see his presentation, that's why they actually won the Super Bowl. Oh my God. Yeah, it's total bullshit. It's not even like, it's not even any real embellishment. It's just completely fucking fake.
There's no way this story is true. And yet he's convinced people at the highest levels of sports that it is. And this is where we get back to Cryptozoo, of course, because it's how he got.
I think also the reason why people believe it is things like Moneyball. Because like what he's saying is like, there's a parallel that a person who's not very, like, you know, technologically savvy would see this and then think, oh, like Moneyball, and be like, oh, okay, yeah, so they did the same thing in football too. Yeah, definitely. I bet that's what happened.
Involved with that.
Again, like the best way to fool somebody is to make them think that they're smart and they understand something that other people don't understand. Stupid people love to give you their money if you can tell them they're not stupid.
Project. Remember Jeff Levin, Logan's manager, who we spoke to last time? Well, he also spoke to Adam Robb. And when he told him the reasons he liked Eddie, they sounded very familiar.
And did he tell you, I guess, kind of like about like working with the NFL and that kind of stuff and the whole, like his time in the CIA and all that?
He did. And it was interesting. It was like, this is wild, you know, like that's pretty cool. But he's, once again, he's humble and he's not like ever bragging or anything like that.
Humble about the accomplishments he didn't even have. Yeah, I wonder why he's so humble, guys. Holy shit.
Wait, but he is bragging. He literally made it all up. The CIA, NFL stories aren't true. How could that not be bragging? But that's the impression Eddie gave off.
Yeah.
But that's not all. Because Eddie didn't just use made-up stories to get in with the Cryptozoo team. He also used his other connections. His real millionaire and billionaire friends that he's managed to gain with all these fake stories. And some of them vouched for him. People like Chris Birch and Todd Morley.
And what was the thing that kind of like sold you on Eddie? Was it the fact that like Chris and Todd and people like that kind of like have backed him in the past and like?
I just think he's a down-to-earth, cool, humble guy.
Okay.
Who's been super successful. They're trying to do an agenda, and he's just kind of like, hey, look, I'm super smart in what I know, and I have amazing relationships through business that I've done.
It's incredible. I mean, how does this guy keep getting away with it? Honestly, it's baffling. But I've got to say, up till now, everyone's been fooled sort of fair and square on the same grounds. But
I think it's just people that are nodding and agreeing because they don't want to seem too stupid to not understand what's going on. I think that's what it is. It's just straight up groupthink, people that are just going along with it, etc. Yeah, he can't keep getting away with it. He is. Yeah, he's super smart in what he knows. Yeah, and the only problem there, he was super smart in what he knows. The only problem is that people thought he knew cybersecurity, and it turns out what he knew was how to scam people.
Found out Cryptozoo did have an advantage that could have saved them all this trouble the whole time.
So a month before the launch of Cryptozoo, I got on the phone with Jeff Levin, Logan Paul's manager. And after he spoke fondly of Eddie and his work, I confronted him about some of Eddie's lies, including how he didn't work for the NFL. Jeff told me he doesn't know much about the NFL, but he knows about the business world. And Chris Birch and Todd Morley vouched for Eddie. And so Jeff and Logan were going to continue working with him. Have you ever verified that anything Eddie said about himself is true?
We verified that it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely talk to people.
Okay.
And his friends and, you know, and people that.
Yeah, I verified it because I asked his friend said it's true, and so, like, I mean, shit. There it is.
He said he has relationships with, which we've confirmed them for sure.
Okay, because I had trouble with some of that. Like,
this is a bit of advice. So if you're ever trying to do something that's like a little bit off the books, if anything that somebody says is even 1 degree off of completely fucking true, throw the whole thing away. Throw the whole thing away. Just fucking pack it up and go and deal with somebody else. Because if somebody is actually going to do it and they're serious, they're going to follow through. There's not going to be any bullshit like this happen. If you say you're going to meet somebody at McDonald's and then they're not there, or you're going to meet them alone and they've got 3 people with them, nope, all right, I'm done. That's it. Or you find out any information, even the smallest thing is not true, that's the real stuff that you should worry about. Because if people are lying about really small things, and they're a compulsive liar and much enough to lie about these very, very small, seemingly inconsequential details, think about what else they're lying about at the same time. That's my advice.
with the NFL, like saying that, like, no, we've never worked with him, and that kind of thing. But you've had
the NFL saying that?
Yeah.
Like who at the NFL?
Like who?
The comms teams for the Eagles.
Like who? And you see what happens, right? Is stupid people never want. And this guy isn't stupid. He's just stupid at this. There's a lot of people that are really smart at one thing, but this just isn't one of the things that Jeff is smart about here.
And the Dolphins, and then the people specifically that he named that he said he worked with.
Got it. I don't know necessarily the football stuff.
Okay.
You know, I don't have relationships in the football world.
Sure.
But in the business world, you know, we've definitely, you know, talked to multiple people.
Like Todd and Chris, and they backed him.
Correct.
Wait a second. This means at minimum, Jeff knew about Eddie's background beforehand, or part of it, and still decided to go with him. This is just unbelievable, willful stupidity. And
well, again, people will always, it's harder to convince a man that he's been fooled than to fool them the first time. Because nobody wants to admit, I think I got finessed. We got finessed. Oh, fuck. They never want to have that happen. So they constantly go and they try to make excuses for why that's not the case. Yeah, it's very common.
Since Jeff is Logan's manager, I assume him and the team should have known about this as well. But still, they went forward with it even though they knew this stuff before launch. Now, I started to reach out for comments about this because obviously this is a huge deal.
Ask Eddie.
But when I did, I got a call from somebody new. Someone with a different perspective that I hadn't heard from before. Jake, the Crypto King. He's been involved with some of Logan's projects in the past, like Pokemon, for example. He was called the collectibles guru a few years ago.
Oh, so he's selling NFTs. He's selling tangible NFTs. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Ago. Nowadays, he goes by Crypto.
I will say also, there are very few times that a person goes to a random park with a bunch of Pokemon cards and stacks full of money. That's like probably, what, 20 grand, something like that, on each of those. Like, nobody, real people don't go and do this. This is always a facade. Like, you never see, like, an actual rich person going out and taking pictures like this. This is always people that are putting up an image to get other people to invest in them.
Collectibles guru a few years ago.
Yeah.
Nowadays, he goes by Crypto King, and he's an advisor for the Cryptozoos project. So let's add him to the conspiracy board. But the question is, what did he have to say? I took a call with him, and he mostly wanted to talk off the record. But when I pressed him, he was willing to at least put one thing on the record for me.
Right. One more thing about Eddie before we get off of him. We actually...
the biggest reason it failed, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because I don't want it to ever be thought that Logan's the reason it failed. He's not. Logan wasn't smart enough for what he tried to build. And then when it was
the idiot excuse. So basically, the Crypto King here is trying to say that Logan Paul didn't know what he was doing and he's dumb and it's all Eddie's fault. And why is Jake doing this? The reason why Jake is doing this is so he can preserve his relationship with Logan Paul and continue using Logan Paul to ride on his coattails and to look like he's more legitimate because he's associated with Logan Paul. That's what he's doing.
built and was failing, didn't have the ability to correct it and to save face and reputation, it was more convenient to pull out than to be associated with a failing project that the dev rocked. So I could put that one sentence on the record.
Well, that is certainly emphatic. Crypto King says it's all Eddie's fault. And this is a nice, neat theory for us.
Yeah, it's convenient. I mean, Eddie did everything wrong. Fuck Eddie. All right, problem solved.
Oh, Eddie ruined everything.
Yeah.
Because, Eddie is a liar. So it does seem to explain how these developers got screwed.
Sure.
But this theory doesn't fit all the facts. Because Eddie was kicked off the team months ago. And still, the game is not working, despite Logan claiming they were going to go back and fix all the problems.
Again, retroactively working to make these projects right, and that just takes time, bro. It just takes time. Development takes time. Working backwards to fix things, which isn't ideal, but also this project will speak for itself.
And now, we're working backwards to try to fix it.
This just hasn't happened. Even a year from launch, the game just doesn't exist. What's worse is the newest dev team who came on after Eddie.
No, and that's the smart thing. Like, if I was Logan Paul, this is what I would do. I would continue to make these, veiled statements about Cryptozoo to keep the dumb people invested without completely having them lose their minds, and then just start making those statements less and less frequently, and then let it fade into obscurity and forget that it ever even happened. That's what, wait long enough for people to just forget about it, and then you can just move on. Yeah, just like the first time. It worked before. Just do it again.
Just quit. And one of the reasons was they hadn't been paid for over a month. I know this because Logan's team is leakier than the Titanic, and someone told me that, but we also have blockchain evidence. This is Jeff paying Block Ops, the company they hired out, on July 19th. They were supposed to redo all this work. It's confirmed by their leader, Skip, talking about a first monthly payment on that day. But after that, there's nothing until they quit on September 26th in a post called Our Departure from Cryptozoo. Now, I do have to say, it does look like they were eventually paid, but only a day after they quit.
Yeah,
and this is just the same problem as before, slightly different. Nobody can pay these devs on time, and investors end up getting nothing. And so I can't buy into the idea that Eddie's at fault for everything, because when Eddie was gone, they had a lot of the same problems. Now, it was only at the point that this dev team quit, Block Ops, that things really took a turn. Because if the Titanic was leaking before, now it was sinking, and everyone basically gave up hope. From every direction.
It's convenient to have somebody like Eddie around. Because even if you knew that he was an absolute fraud and a scam artist, all you have to do is wait for something to go wrong and be like, bro, I mean, what do you expect? We had Eddie there. Then, he's the fall guy. Exactly. Yeah, he goes down, you blame everything on Eddie, and then you move on.
Getting messages from all the investors who felt betrayed, who up to this point were holding on to hope. Now they felt defeated. They felt tricked by the Cryptozoo team who had fed them promise after promise. And they were sick of it.
He was never in the chat or anything, never apologized or told us anything.
Things didn't work out. We all get that. But to continuously lie, lead people on, hype people up.
Well, he can't say that it was bullshit, because then he's admitting the fraud. Yeah, no, Logan Paul's making the right decision. This is smart. Just completely make the entire thing up and not talk about it.
To put more money in, all the while in the background, things are going down, things are hitting the fan, and you left us holding the bag.
I know it was my decision.
I don't think that it's you guys that are holding the bag.
And I did my research, but I believe nobody has to lose money in this way.
And that's when a whistleblower...
What a moron. Like, I really, like, I mean, what a fucking moron. Like, come on, man. Yeah, come on. Like, what research? Nobody should have to lose money. It's, come on. It's just, honestly, whenever people lose money to this kind of stuff, like, yeah, fraud's bad. People that do fraud should be punished. They could go to jail. They should go to jail. Absolutely. But I don't feel bad. I'm going to be totally honest. I really don't feel bad about these guys getting scammed at all.
Stepped forward and decided enough was enough. They decided to leak me messages, team messages, from the Cryptozoo team from all the way back in the beginning when they thought of this idea, all the way up to launch. And seeing that, it changed everything. Because all of a sudden, I got a lot of new information. Remember how Jake, the Crypto King, said Eddie was the only problem?
Yeah.
Well, a year ago, he was saying something very different. On the day of launch, he said this to the group. Logan, you stole 40 million in...
Ah. Okay. Well, this is a bit of a development, isn't it? What a fucking surprise. That's an easy 40 mil, boys. Yep, there we go.
Tokens from me. You are a scam artist. You are a liar, and you betrayed your own community. You aren't that guy. Logan replies, oh, Jake, trust me, bro. I am that guy.
Story. Yeah, I'll go on the record for you, and yes, I'm going to show you the text message that say we can sell at these ascending market caps, and that it's not like I was trying to rug a project. It's like I put $250,000 into a project plus 6 months of time, and the founder never did anything he said he was going to do, and then hired a bunch of devs that didn't do what they were going to do. And every time I gave advice, the advice was I was told. So there was nothing illegal about that. Ethically, arguable. The rest that Logan did to me was ethically wrong and illegal.
Damn. God fucking damn. Oh my god. Yeah, look at this. I mean, so he got cucked. Like, yeah, UltraW Content. Yeah, this is. I'm going to give you guys the link to this so you can give it a like. This is a CoffeeZilla video. It's part 2. And, say it with me, bros. Wire fraud? Yeah, I know. This is the CoffeeZilla magnum opus 100%. I don't think it is. To be honest, I think that this is not even his final form. Because there's so many more of these, and now that CoffeeZilla is out here doing these videos, everybody's going to know about him, and they're going to send him even more of these that are going to be even worse. Because I don't even think this is probably in the top 10 worst crypto scams. I'm going to be totally honest. I really don't think so. I think that there's a bunch of them that are way worse than all of these. Logan to turn off comments on all of his platforms? Well, yeah, because he's getting harassed. I mean, bro, like, it's a coordinated harassment campaign against him, and people just want to see him fail because they can't stand to see somebody rise up above the tide, you know? That's what it's got to be. And you're telling me a LA rich kid got his money wrongfully, oh shocker. Well, the thing is, Logan Paul didn't get his money wrongfully besides this, really. I mean, he sold t-shirts. He got ad revenue from YouTube. Now, you might not like his content, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's fair is fair. You know, you sell a t-shirt, people buy a t-shirt, you get a t-shirt, it is what it is. But this is totally different that I know of. Oh, yeah, you're right. There's definitely probably going to be more to this. It seems like there certainly is. So, yeah, what does ethically illegal mean? I think that what he's saying is that, like, there are things that are ethically wrong, but like, they are legally allowed. And there are also things that are legally allowed, but, legally not allowed, but they are ethically right. That's effectively what he's trying to get into. And he said it's ethically and illegal. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. So, look at his podcast. What about his podcast? Is he talking about this? I have no idea. But either way, it seems very obvious that anybody who's getting involved in these crypto scams, like Logan, you stole $40 million from us, all this stuff. Bro, if you're getting involved in this stuff, you've just got to write off the idea that you're going to deal with anybody who is credible in any way. The people that get involved in these scams, the people that get involved in making this stuff, it seems like it is rotten to the core. There is no good actors here. There are no good guys. These are people that are all trying to make millions of dollars on selling scuffed Yoshi eggs. And they don't even turn into Yoshis. It's just the egg. Like, I'm sorry, but like, I mean, if you buy into this stuff, I think that right now, honestly, this is my new opinion. The government should not regulate any type of NFT stuff at all. Because if you buy into this stuff at this point, you deserve to lose your fucking money. Like, you had your chance, and you know what? It's like, I get it, yeah, if you just got in early on, but like, there's just been so many examples of this. How the fuck are you still getting finessed by this? It is so sad, man. They'll scam old people. I know. It's nuts, man. So much info. I mean, it's obviously a joke, right? I mean, of course, people that do these scams should go to jail. Like, I mean, do I have to contextualize this as a joke? Yeah, of course it's a fucking joke. Yeah, it's nuts, man. Let me see here. The story of Eddie Ivanez is the epitome of people would rather believe an interesting lie than a boring truth. Well, I think it's more that as soon as people start believing it, then other people are believing it. And then because other people are believing it, well, then they're going to believe it too, because there's no way that other person could have been finessed. And so now everybody's believing something, and it's like a domino effect of as soon as you can get one or two credible witnesses, then everything else falls right into place. I think that makes sense. I'm in crypto, but I've told people 100% stay away from NFTs. There's a market for NFTs, but not the way it's currently used. Well, yeah, I mean, I think that if you want to make an argument that the technology behind NFTs could have real world uses, sure. Or crypto could have real world uses, sure. But in selling pictures of animals that have photoshopped versions of other animals on their head, like a koala with an elephant trunk, I'm sorry, but this doesn't have any value. If it did, DeviantArt would be the most profitable website in the entire world. Come on. Obviously, while fighting the front lines against the hordes of scammers out there, a real hero, but we need more people like him. Bro, we need people like him that work at the government. That's the problem. Is that like these people, like look at Ice Poseidon, for example. Whatever happened with that? Ice Poseidon scammed everybody with CX coin. Last I heard, Ice Poseidon's doing great. The government doesn't care. Yeah, and he admitted it. Yeah, he admitted it. It's just chilling. He's streaming in Japan. Yeah, so I've heard. But it seems like worse things have happened. Oh, absolutely. I'm really glad to see this. I want to link you guys the video again so you can make sure to give it some support. I think this is fucking great. These videos are phenomenal. I love them. I hope we see more of them. Financial crimes are the most overlooked ever, I swear. The reason why financial crimes are overlooked, this is my opinion as somebody who doesn't really know the space, but I'm just randomly guessing. I think that the reason why financial crimes are overlooked is because in order to understand the severity of what's going on, you need to have so much technical knowledge that it doesn't have the same cachet and prestige that arresting like a child molester would have. So people that want to go in and, you know, make a name for themselves for taking down somebody important or doing something that's meaningful, if you do something that's financially related, you need so much like information just to understand what this person did that it becomes not impressive to the average person. So people are obviously doing it, right? I mean, because like if you're working at the FBI, you want to be the guy that says that, like, you know, you were the one who found out that, you know, the Illuminati fucking adrenochrome, like, you know, like harvesting babies for blood. You want to be the person that found that. You don't want to be the guy that found some weird fucking accounting error in some crypto company that nobody really understands. No, you want to be the guy that found, you know, a bunch of like girls that are like held captive in some guy's basement and we put the guy in jail. You see kind of what I'm saying? How like it's more accessible and it's like easier to brag about? Yeah, I'll watch the Sekiro video. Yeah, if I like accounting, well, that's fine, but a lot of people don't. So see, I think once taxes aren't paid on that amount of money, then you're fucked. Well, yeah, of course, because then they get paid directly for the amount of money. Of course, that makes sense. You need an inside informant. Take for example, the FIFA charges. They have breadcrumbs, but having someone piece it together also makes it a more solid case. Yeah, of course. I'm sorry, but people might be rich, but forget how the world really works. I'm sorry, but if people can pay $50K for fake internet money, they'll pay $5K for a guy killing them. I mean, it's science, right? Well, yeah, I think there's obviously that stuff that happens too. But overall, it's really not a surprise to see these kinds of things go down. Because in any unregulated market, in any place where there are no rules, people that are lawless thrive. Because there are reasons there are rules.